Reflections on the resurrection. When we think of the resurrection, it's a quite grand idea that the dead shall rise. This seems crazy in one sense, and yet maybe even commonplace in another, in that all cultures, religions has some hope, whether that be a physical resurrection or a spiritual continuation or blending into the universe, whatever it may be. There's some notion in our souls, right, of resurrection. Now, some will say you die and that's all there is, but think of this. All mankind is religious in some way, shape, or form. They might not follow an institutionalized religion, but even the person that says I'm not religious has some type of code, some type of value, some types of ways that they follow and think is right, even if that's complete selfishness, right? They've established a system in their mind, a system that says the greatest amount of good for me is the greatest amount of good of the universe, right? Or a person that doesn't seem to live an outwardly moral life still has some code, right? Some line that is drawn. And even the psychopath, right, that follows no moral code, he recognizes that there is one and he rejects it for whatever reason. So innately, I think we know as humans that there is a God. Even if we reject that notion in practice, our minds and hearts betray us, right? Because we try to live good and we try to live right and we try to enforce others to do good and right. And that's interesting, right? When we really think about that those who might be irreligious still try to force others to be good, to do moral, to not kill, to not hurt people. And sometimes they say that's why I'm not religious, because religion hurts people, but they have a religion, right? So when we look at the resurrection, what the resurrection says is this, that everyone has an opinion. All religions have a hope of life after death. But what Jesus did is he proved it. He went to the grave. We saw him, right? We as humans, people saw him go into the grave, and people saw him come out of the grave. And there wasn't just a few witnesses. There was over 500 witnesses. They see him ascend. And then these people are willing to die for that which they claim to have seen. And a lot of this we've heard before, but I think it's important for us to understand this, that as we reflect on the importance and the meaning of Christ, on the resurrection, of life after death, that we realize this is innate within us. This is a hope we all have, to see our loved ones again, to know that this life is not the end, to hope for something more, for no matter how bad we've been treated, to know there is a just God who will avenge and bring justice to all things. May we put our hope in Christ today.